In case you were wondering, or in case you forgot, this is where our country currently stands.
It is what it is. Well, it is what it is because he is who he is. That's why it is what it is.
All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute.
Really? Like, we're okay with this? All of us, we're okay with this, guys? Anyone, we want to make some changes here soon, please? This is where we are. It's unbelievable. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Zeducation, and welcome to another episode of That Didn't Age Well. Fittingly named. This is our longest running series on Zeducation. And as you can tell, this, like I said, just all ties together in today's episode. If you are new to this series, here on That Didn't Age Well, we highlight hypocritical and lying politicians, mainstream media, and celebrities and entertainers. And we dip our toes into the cesspool we call Washington, D.C. Why? Because it's hilarious. It's hilarious to see these people, talk from both sides of their mouth, catch them lying, and see karma bite them. And today we have a jam-packed, juicy episode for you guys. You're going to love it. And as always with these episodes, if you cringe, you lose, all right? So, accept these things. Accept them as they are. Don't want changes. Don't want people to be competent and know what planet they're on when they're trying to make decisions for your life. I digress. If you're ready for today's game, head down and like this video. And if you are new here, please make sure you are subscribed and have the bell clicked for notifications when new videos are uploaded. Now on to today's list of things that didn't age well. Number 10. On this channel, on our Clown World series, we have highlighted many articles about eating bugs. That's the new thing. Eat the bugs. Stop eating meat because cow farts are bad for the environment. Eat the bugs. That's a real thing. It is. But NPR doesn't like us talking about that. They don't like people saying, the bug plan is a real thing. They had this podcast in July that said this right-wing conspiracy theory about eating bugs is about as racist as you can think. That's right. Not only is it racist, it's a conspiracy theory. One that NPR has been reporting on for decades. Here's one from 2019. Companies face an uphill battle trying to get Americans to eat bugs. 2017. At Bug Eating Festival, kids crunch down on the food of the future. 2018. Your ancestors probably ate insects. So, what's bugging you? Clever headline, NPR. But also racist. I can't believe you guys did this. Another one. Maybe it's time to swap burgers for bugs, says UN. That was 2013. Thought this was a conspiracy theory. Oh my gosh, and look at all these examples. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 examples of NPR previously writing racist conspiracy theory articles. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. Wow. NPR, are you going to retract all of these? Huh? I got to know, because this is just absolutely reprehensible. I can't believe you guys would write these conspiracy theory articles about eating bugs. I just can't believe it. Number 9. Move on to sports. You guys know I like football. I like baseball. Love the bread and circus, right? The honey buns and the clowns. That's what we're here for, right? Anyways, the Packers, worst team in the league. You guys know this. A couple weeks ago, they wished happy birthday to Jonathan Garvin, right? Tweeted that out. Just 3.5 hours later, they release him. Oh, man, what a terrible franchise. I just can't believe you guys would do that. All right? You wish him a happy birthday and say, kick him out the door. That's what they did. Packers, man. But they're not the only ones. This is what the Cleveland Browns did, too. They wish happy birthday to Michael Dunn, and literally same day, hours, same thing. Cut him. It's a cutthroat business. You got to cut people. There's only 53 spots. I get it. But, maybe don't wish him a happy birthday. I don't know. Only the Packers would do that, though. All the worst things come from Wisconsin. Jeffrey Dahmer, Stephen Avery, lots of stuff. The Packers, of course. Number 8. I say this every time, but we cannot have a list without Jim Cramer, the guru stock picker, the mainstream stock picker, who is, I don't even know how wrong he is or what his percentage rate is, but it's pretty bad. Here's a couple examples what I'm talking about. Back in July, he said, "While I'm a huge believer in everything Musk save politics, I think the F-150 Lightning has more going for it than the Cybertruck." And then, literally same day, 4 hours later, Ford cuts prices on its electric F-150 Lightning pickups by as much as $10,000. And they're taking a huge loss on their electric vehicles. And for good reason. For, you have an electric vehicle, that's fine. I'm not anti-electric vehicles. I just think it's not very reasonable, realistic, especially when you live in a place like Minnesota, 20 below weather. You're hauling things. If you're hauling a fish house or a trailer of anything, your battery's not going to last in rural Minnesota. It just isn't. It's just not a reasonable thing. So, and those are generally the people who buy trucks, people in rural areas. Not a good idea. Anyways, there we go. Jim Cramer example. Here's another one from him. This is in June. Don't bet on oil going higher. It will just be another head fake as Russia has transactional friendships with China and India. Ooh. And you guys, oil is through the roof. And we've been calling for this for a long time. It was artificially low because of Biden draining the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, which was a horrible idea. And now it's just going to keep going up and up and up unless something crazy happens. So I don't know how a professional stock picker didn't see that coming. A couple guys with laptops in a garage saw it coming. And I'm sure many of you too. So anyways, there you go. There's your Jim Cramer dose of that didn't age well. And there are many more examples of this, by the way. Number 7. They always say elections have consequences, folks. They always say that. On today's list, we're going to get into both parties, Republican, Democrat. Both, they're the same thing in my eyes. They're the same party for the most part. But they always say, elections have consequences. Whoever you vote for, whatever policies they have, you get to reap what you sow. And New York City is finding that out the hard way. So in New York City, the mayor, back in 2021, tweeted, "New York City is and has always been a city of immigrants. We are a destination for diversity and a place where people from every nation seek refuge, raise families, and enrich our communities. Under my administration, our government will reflect that. And New York City is a sanctuary city. Everyone is welcome, right?" Well, not anymore. New York City will immediately begin discouraging asylum seekers for seeking refuge here, distributing flyers at the southern border that warn migrants there is no guarantee they will receive shelter or services, Mayor Eric Adams said Wednesday. Going further and saying this.
"And let me tell you something, New Yorkers. Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City. We're getting 10,000 migrants a month."
But this is what you promised. And just to further emphasize that, here's another thing you tweeted. "We should protect our immigrants, period. Yes, New York City will remain a sanctuary city under an Adams administration." This is what you campaigned on. This is what you asked for. And now it's a problem. Again, Eric Adams declares a state of emergency over New York City's immigrant crisis. We have not asked for this. There is never any agreement to take on the job of supporting thousands of asylum seekers. We have not asked for this. You're a sanctuary city. Yes, you did. You asked for this. But if it's someone else's problem, you are a sanctuary city. But if it's your problem, then you're not, right? Again, this is what politicians do. They push these ideas that aren't realistic. Vote for me. We're the humane party. We're going to love everyone, love everyone. It's all fake. Anyways, elections have consequences. Reap what you sow. Have fun, New York City. Number 6, jumping back into the mainstream media, we got CNN, who reported this back in January of this year. Stores say shoplifting is a national crisis. The numbers don't back it up. And flash forward to July. CNN, they're doing a report on this. They're diving deeper into this. And while they did, CNN witnesses 3 alleged thefts in 30 minutes while reporting on shoplifting. It's a conspiracy theory, guys. Don't eat the bugs, shoplifting, it's all fake. It's not a real problem, obviously. Even when you see it with your own eyes. And back to, mayors of big cities and be careful what you ask for, be careful what you vote for. This is what the new mayor of Chicago said while he was campaigning. It is not constructive to demonize. Incoming Chicago mayor defends teens after weekend violence. Guys, don't be hard on the kids. They're stealing, they're murdering. They can't help it. They're kids. Don't criticize them. That's called demonizing. That's going to make the problem worse. You need to coddle them. And then when you do that, this is what happens. Chicago sees 38% rise in crime under new mayor Brandon Johnson. It's really hard to be worse than his predecessor, but he is. Like it's horrible. Number 5. This one, I'm pretty sure we've had this one before, but this is just a beautiful, beautiful that didn't age well example. From The Guardian in 2004. Now the Pentagon tells Bush, climate change will destroy us. And in the red square here, Britain will be Siberian in less than 20 years. We got what? What did I say? 2004. So we have another year. Another year for Britain to turn into Siberia. I'm just going to go ahead and say this isn't going to age well because it clearly hasn't already. But I don't know. Take that one for what you will there. Number 4. This one we go to my favorite Twitter account, Defiant LS, where they have so many things that are highlighted as things that didn't age well on Twitter specifically. And here are just a few examples. This guy, no idea who he is, in 2020 said, it's pathetic how the entire Trump family doubles down on corruption and stupidity. Flash forward to 2023. Attacking a man's family is the strategy of scoundrels. So clearly, don't criticize the Bidens, but he did the same thing to Trump. Hypocrites. It's hard for them to see this, but this is why we do this. We lay it out in front of them so they can see it, hopefully feel embarrassed and change their behavior, maybe. And then we got this guy in 2022 said, you do realize that a president doesn't control gas prices, right? And then just 2 months before was touting Biden for gas has gone down 80 cents here in a month. Thanks, President Biden. So in one, it is his. When it goes down, it's his success, but when it goes up, it's not his fault. Like, of course. Then we got July of 2023. MSNBC says the far right's obsession with fitness is going digital. And in 2016, they reported America's obesity epidemic hits a new high. So promoting healthy lifestyles, promoting fitness is far right. It's bad, awful, obviously, according to MSNBC. And then they're also acknowledging that we have a massive obesity problem, an overweight problem. It's not good. We're a very unhealthy country. So there's a problem, but don't try to fix it, is what they're saying. Number 3. For number 3 here, we get to the presidential pardon power. And we're going to cover both parties, an example from both parties. One from Obama, one from Trump. And I've said this for a long time. I think the presidential pardon thing is a really stupid thing. Here's just a list of presidential pardons by presidents. Clearly, we got Trump, horrible, awful guy abusing his power. Just ignore that number by Obama's name. But yeah, I can't believe how much he abused his power in 4 years. Obama, 1,927, but ignore that. Again, the couple examples we have here on this, when you pardon a criminal and then they do a crime again, happens more often than you'd think. We got this headline that dropped in May. Cocaine dealer whose life sentence was commuted by Obama in 2015 is charged with shooting female passenger during road rage incidents and leaving her brain dead, with victim not expected to survive. Very, very sad. Guy should still be in prison, maybe, I don't know. But like I said, you let a criminal out of prison, probably gonna do crime again, and it happened. Then you got Trump, man who had jail sentence commuted by Trump arrested again. A New Jersey Ponzi scheme architect whose 24-year prison sentence was commuted by then-President Trump in 2021 has been arrested again Wednesday on charges of defrauded investors by making false promises involving humanitarian supplies destined for Ukraine. We're going to get to term limits and possibly even age limits here on our number 1 example. But maybe we should get rid of this stupid power that the president has too. Maybe, I don't know. But clearly, both of these examples did not age well. Number 2, this is a beautiful one. This is, you see this on Twitter often on the presidential account these days. We got 2 fact checks on the false narratives that the president puts out there. So we got this tweet from the POTUS account right now. Real wages for the average American worker is higher than it was before the pandemic, with lower wage workers seeing the largest gains. That's Bidenomics. And in this fact check, it says the tweet's claim about real wages contains a factual error. On March 15th of 2020, when U.S. COVID lockdowns began, real wages adjusted for inflation were $11.15. As of July 16th, 2023, real wages adjusted for inflation are $11.05. Real wages adjusted for inflation remain lower, not higher than before the pandemic. Yeah, tough. Again, in Washington, D.C., this is a rule you got to remember. If you ever want to be a low-life scumbag politician one day, die with the lie. Lie, 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 lie until people believe it's true. That's rule number 1 in the handbook of dirty politics. So, all you future sleazebags out there. Here's another one. 1 year after its launch, our administration's 988 suicide and crisis hotline has helped 5 million Americans when they needed it most. 988 was signed into law in 2019 under the Trump administration. Wow, they're even citing NPR and CNN in this. Ugh. Yikes. What a weird thing to lie about. Yeah, honestly. So, sad. But again, this happens all the time these days. What do we expect? Number 1. And on to number 1. Like I said, a fitly named That Didn't Age Well episode. While we cover in number 1 the percentage of Congress over the age of 70. Almost 25% of Congress is over the age of 70. Why is this a problem? Well, here are just a few more clips in case you need some reminding of why this may be a problem.
Now, if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
It is what it is. Well, it is what it is because he is who he is. That's why it is what it is.
And you got Dianne Feinstein, who is 90 years old. She is being wheeled around in a wheelchair most days. And she's in such bad health that she ceded power of attorney to her daughter. But she's still serving Congress. So she's making laws that you have to live by. But she can't even dictate things that happen in her own life these days. Then, of course, we got to play the Mitch McConnell clips. This has happened twice now.
What? Running for re-election in 2026.
Just freezes up. Loses it, man.
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026?
Making rules, making laws for you to live by.
All right, I'm sorry, you all
Sending
were
your
going to need a
money
minute.
overseas.
Senator.
So we got that clip. Here's another one. This happened just a few weeks before. Same thing happened.
And a string of
Painful, man. Painful to watch. I want to remind you one more time. They're making rules that you have to live by. They're taking 30, 40% of your paycheck, sending it overseas. You know? Tough, tough, tough. Maybe if you had someone sound of mind, that wouldn't happen. I don't know. It probably would if we're being honest with ourselves. But here's just another list. We got the Senate on the left and representatives on the right. We got some very old members of Congress. And, you know, for a country that follows the science, basic science shows and says, sadly, that when we age, you're not the same. It is what it is. Now, maybe term limits would fix this. Maybe we got to put some age limits in there as well. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Bonus! We got a couple bonus clips for you folks. Couple bonus clips. This one we go to the soccer world where we've, heard for years equal pay for equal work when they're not in the same leagues. It doesn't really make sense. But here's an example of the equal work.
Players from host country Australia have released a video demanding equal pay from FIFA with their male counterparts. The overall prize pool for the women is £84 million, a quarter of that of the men at their last World Cup. FIFA have said they're making moves towards parity, but the Matildas say there's still a long way to go.
Yeah, I mean, the argument is fair in some cases, and I think for us it's always just trying to shed a light on the positive side of it, and how we can continue to elevate our voices and our the talent that we have, and have people support it. And you know, you always get the no one's watching women's football and blah, you know. It's those things, they're just, you know, it's water off a duck's back. It's, for us, it's not true. We've sold out our game, and there's so many people coming to watch, and so it's always, you know, you kind of just you always have to take the positives out of it, and rather than look at it from a negative lens, I guess.
Australia women's national team lose 7-0 to a team of 15-year-old boys. It's a real headline. Do the 15-year-old boys get equal pay for equal work, for equal performance? It's a good question. On to the next bonus clip. We got this poster here, this little advertisement. Bill Cosby talks to kids about drugs. Ooh. Yeah, that did not age well. Next one, we go to baseball. I had to put this one in here because I'm really, really not a big fan of this guy. He's had a real tough year, so he tweeted this out, 2012, I'm about to go to sleep, and then, flash forward 10 years, he did. So, tough. We're not going to play the clip there. That YouTube won't like that, but real tough year for old Timmy. And our final thing that didn't age well, we have to highlight this. A very hateful clip here coming up, but it has a rather hypocritical, funny ending. So this was on TikTok not too long ago.
Okay, this isn't like full shade towards you. I just see a lot of comments like this, and this was the most recent one, so I'm just responding to this one. When white people say shit like this, it isn't the serve they think it is. Like, you're a part of the problem, fix your people, bro. Like, when white people are like, I'm white, and white people do suck. Yeah, you're probably a part of those said white people, so do something about it. Also, I hate when white people try to validate me. Like, they're literally like, I'm white, but I agree. Bro, I don't know if you noticed, but I don't need validation from white people. Like, that's the last thing I need in my life. Like, I feel like white people always try, but they miss. Like, and I feel bad for y'all. Not that bad, though, because your ancestors suck and you're stinky and evil. But bad enough where I want to call you out and tell you not to leave comments like this because it's crusty. Anyways, for all the bleach demons willing to learn, I see you. You're not as bad as the rest.
And this is the same hateful person here, which is, again, pretty funny, pretty hypocritical, but very hate-filled. And the sad part, and the important part about highlighting this, is that this is hate that is accepted. This is hate that is okay in the eyes of, many in power, especially in academia, places like that. Hate is hate, right? So very sad to see, but also a little bit hypocritical, Only in woke America 2023 do we see stuff like this. What do you think about today's video? Did you cringe at all? Any of these examples make you cringe? If it did, you lose, and you got some work to do, guys. You need to accept these things. You need to accept these truths about the world. You need to accept these liars, these hateful people, these fake people, these old politicians that are telling you how to live your life when they don't even know what day it is. Let me know what you think down in the comments. While you're down there, please like this video. Please help us get it recommended to others. That's it for today's video. Until next time, I'm Tyler Zed, and this is Zeducation.
For the children.
Idiots.